Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Urbonus and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I am so excited to show you a project today based on one of our Saleabration Designer Series papers and the bundle that coordinates with it from our mini catalog. So, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will be putting all the measurements for this project in the description, so you're welcome to just follow along as we go, or you can also just enjoy the video and come back later too. So what I want to show you guys today is this really beautiful floating panel card, and it's very simple to make. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, I do want to just show you where you can find the products. So of course, our paper is from our little Saleabration brochure. So Saleabration goes on until the end of this month while supplies last. But please keep in mind that as supplies start running out, things will disappear and they won't be coming back. So if you love this paper, maybe throw in a $60 order so that you can grab it, and you'll be able to use it for all sorts of different projects. So the Fragrant Flowers Designer Series paper is free with a $60 order, and that is in Canada. So if you're somewhere else, you might want to just double check what your spending amounts will be, and then you'll be able to kind of know from there what you need to shop for. But the general rule of thumb is the paper that coordinates with a bundle. Usually if you buy the bundle, you'll end up being able to earn the paper for free. So this is the Fragrant Flowers Bundle. I have a couple of the stamp sets mounted, so we're using those today. And I've already pre-cut a couple pieces using these gorgeous large dies, because if you didn't know, sometimes our designer series paper coordinates with one of our dies. So for instance, this sheet, and I kind of have to chop it up to fit it through my cut and emboss machine, can cut all sorts of these large flowers and these mini flowers as well. You will find another sheet in the package in both the Razzleberry and Calypso Coral, this one here. This one doesn't actually coordinate with a set of dies, but you could easily take a set of scissors and cut around these large images, because it would give you the exact same look that this one does with a nice black border. But I really love whenever there's dies, because it makes my life so easy. So I've already done that for our project, but I did want to show you where it came from. And I'm going to take this guy, this little nice stitch tag out of here, because we're going to be using that later on in our project. So let me move these things out of our way and we can get going. Right, I don't think I need them, so I'm putting them on the ground, but of course, whenever I do that, I do end up needing them. Okay, so I need a Stampin' Up! Trimmer for this project, because it's not so simple as just giving you guys a measurement like I usually do. I want to actually make sure you know exactly what we're cutting together, okay? So to start off with, you're going to grab a piece of basic black, and this is going to be 4 1/4 by 11. Starting off pretty normal, but we have to do a couple cuts. Okay, so this is where I wanted to do this with you guys. So the first thing is you're going to lay your paper down so the 11-inch is across the top. So the nice long side, kind of like the horizon, is across the top of your workspace. Now we're going to do this together, and we're going to cut 1 1/2 off of the end of this. Okay, so just double check you've lined it up at 1 1/2, and you're going to cut that off. Okay, so here is our long piece again. We've cut 1 1/2. Keep this, we're going to use it. Now we are going to cut once more at 2 1/2. Okay, so lining our black piece up at 2 1/2. Once again, we're going to chop that off. So far I have a 1 1/2, 2 1/2. We're not doing any more cutting on this black, but we do need to score. So make sure to move your cutting blade far out of your way, because if you're like me, you'll just automatically grab it. you want your trimming or your, pardon me, your scoring tool handy right now. Okay, so we're going to line this up once again at 1.5. And this is where we're scoring. So just a little line at 1.5. So that when we fold this, it just has this tiny little lip hanging out the top. Right here. Okay, so I know this is a little odd to imagine. You're kind of like, Lauren, what on earth are you making right now? But if you can imagine it, right now, these little lips, they even out, right? This is what we're building at the moment. These panels are what we're going to add later. So while we have this open, let's go ahead and talk inside of your card. And I have used a piece of Very Vanilla for mine. So that is going to measure 4 inches by 5.25. Now I wanted a little bit of stamping, so you can go ahead and do that. I'm gonna do mine right on a scrap piece of paper here. And I like to find colors that kind of coordinate with my paper. So if you look at this designer paper that we're going to talk about in just a minute, it's got a gorgeous array of kind of calypso coral and some greenery. And on the back, these stripes, they're actually the Mossy Meadow color. So that's what I chose to use for both my sentiment and my flower decor for this project. So I have the largest flower all mounted up. I'm just going to tap my ink on there and ink that all up. And just along the top, you don't need it covering the whole thing, but just somewhere along the top, and I did it kind of in the middle of the, oh, that was a bad job. Turn it over. That's why paper has 2 sides. Try again. There we go. Let's try and get my, it's probably because I'm working on top of other things. It's usually a bad idea. There you go. Okay, so I did one on the top, flipped her around, and I'm going to do another on the bottom. This is so that I actually have quite a bit of writing space kind of in the middle section and just this subtle flower. So you can either use the same side of the stamp or you can flip it over, maybe try something different. It's totally up to you. Okay, so there we go. There's our nice, beautiful little flower for the moment. And we can go ahead and add this into the middle of our card. Now I like to use double-sided tape, but of course, if you're somebody who prefers seal or glue, go for it. Right? Just putting those inside here. And hi, Stacy. Thanks for watching. Trying to get better, guys. I'm really bad at saying hi to people who comment. So if you're watching, say hi, and I will try to comment. If not, I will definitely comment after. Okay, so again, doesn't matter which way your flowers go, because of course they both will look wonderful. So just nestle that right into this middle part of your card. Okay, so at this point, we have these 2 sections done. Now we need to start decorating a little bit, okay? So we're going to fold this down, going to fold it down, and we're going to chat about some designer series paper that you would like to cut now. So I need something heavy. I'm going to put my stamp here just so you can see for a minute. Okay, so keep these black pieces on hand because we need designer paper for them. So 2 pieces that are going to be cut the exact same, and these are going to be 1.25 by 4. One of them will go up in this top section here, and one of them is going to go on the skinny little black piece that you have left. The other black piece, we're going to cut another piece of designer paper. So I used the same pattern, but the opposite side for my center here. And of course you can cut whatever you feel like. This one is going to be 2.25 by 4, and that will get layered into this square. So go ahead and layer those now. It will be easiest for you if you have them in place. Kind of find less pieces flying all over the place, the better. So the nice part about designer series paper that's free is I'm not as scared to use it, but if you have a purpose for this piece and you don't want to share it, go ahead and cut this center from something else. Okay. 1 and 2. Ooh, backings are flying. There we go. Just try to get it as centered as possible. Last but not least, this little guy here. Sorry, you can't see me. All right, this guy goes on the top, and because it's only a tiny little flap, it does like to move quite a bit until we've got everything else kind of in place for it, like that. Okay, so now you get to have a little bit of fun. You can choose either to start decorating this panel or to mount it and then decorate. For me, I think in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and mount it onto my card because I find it easier to decorate once it's in place. So I'm going to just kind of visualize this for the moment. This one is actually going to line up right to the edge of your project. And this little guy is what's going to connect them. We're going to put dimensionals onto each of the sides here. I'm not going to do that yet. And then you can decide kind of where you want this positioned. Mine is positioned so that I have just a tiny section in the top and a larger one in the bottom. And that's just kind of what I wanted showing. You could go right to the center. You could go bottom is small and the top is large, whatever you want. So kind of just decide for yourself. And then when you're kind of ready, let's get our dimensionals on and then we'll refit everything into space. So dimensionals along the left side and dimensionals along the right side. These are going to be connecting these two panels. Because we're not an octopus, and I often find it challenging to kind of hold everything in place at once, I'm actually just gonna move that for a second, but be careful not to actually put this side down on anything. Just attach this to your project, like so, gently, and then you can tuck this one back into place. Make sure it's kind of lined up as close to even as you can with the top and the side and the bottom. And then you can close that like so. Okay. And when you let go, it's connected. So it's kind of this floating panel that is kind of a secret. Now to decorate, we have lots of fun things to work with. So the first thing I did was I cut out one of those flowers from our designer series paper. And I'm going to mount that just kind of to the top of my project here. And because this is so large, I'm going to worry about this piece first and then add my sentiment and details later. So this one I'm happy here, but I want to put some dimensionals here so it stands up on my project. Okay, so you can see it covers all of that greenery. I don't need to worry about being very careful where I put these. As long as they're kind of a bunch in place, my flower will be able to take over that top section. There we go. And then the only other one that I might want to dimensional under is this little flower. So that's easy enough just to kind of lift him up and put one down. So now you can start playing with your sentiments. So I love the stamp set. It's got some really bold, bright sentiments saying hello and thanks and love and my friend. But I found that this tag was a little long. It kind of took over my flower here. And so I wanted to do something a little different with it. I'm actually going to trim it down and I'm going to show you how to do that. But the first thing you'll want to do is your stamping. So we're going to stamp the word hello in Mossy Meadow. It doesn't matter which end you choose, but you want your stamp kind of as close to one of the edges as possible. Okay? Again, doesn't matter which one, but pick one side or the other and put it as close to that edge as you can. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to need my cut and emboss machine, so I'm moving this so it doesn't get squished. Bringing this up to show you guys. There's my cut and emboss machine. I have my standard platform, a little adapter die, I forgot the name of that the other week, and my base plate, which is very ugly. Now to shorten this, we're going to use the same die that we used to cut this out, but we're going to put it up a little bit. And because it has these great little grooves from the stitching, you can kind of just move it around for a few seconds and it will nestle kind of right into place somewhere. Sorry, I'm letting the camera refocus. Doesn't want to, but hopefully you can see I've put the end of my die now by my O, and it's going to just recut through some of these circles, but because I nestled the die into those circles that exist, it shouldn't harm them in any way. So my other plate goes over top. Oh, I moved things. Oops, this is what happens when you are working backwards. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I think I had another one. There we go. I will feed it your way this time. This one I probably should have put just a little tape over top of it to hold it in place, but let's risk it again. Line that up. And roll her through. Okay, there we go. Don't usually roll towards myself. There. So then when I take this off, I have this extra little piece that you could probably use for something else later, and my nice little die says hello, and we're ready to put that on. So on my card, I've decided to pop this one up on dimensionals. I don't really want it popped up over top of the flower, so I'm going to kind of keep my dimensionals towards the right-hand side of the decal, but that shouldn't be too challenging to do. I just don't want a lopsided decal because my flowers already have dimensionals under them. So there we go. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it, Sherry. Okay, and then this guy here, the really nice thing about this paper is it has lines, so you know exactly where to line it up to make it flat. And voila. Now I thought it needed maybe one more thing, so I brought in my little brushed brass butterflies, and I'm just going to throw one of those guys on. I thought it would be cute if you kind of just had him sitting on top of that O. You could also put it on the other side and put it on the H if you wanted, but either way, here, we'll do one of each because I couldn't really decide which I liked better. So we'll have one with the O and one with the H. You guys can vote and see which way you like it. So yes, very, very fun. There's also a bunch of purple paper in this package based off of Rich Raspberry. So I think what I'm going to do this afternoon is I'm going to recreate this card using that, but the color of the leaves here, this is the Evening Evergreen. I thought maybe I would play with that on the Rich Raspberry card for my sentiment and my flowers. So we'll post those probably tomorrow or something, and you can vote and see which one you like better. But oh, there we go. Thank you, girls. Ladies, sorry, I call you girls, but thank you guys so much for watching. It's always a pleasure to chat with those of you who can join live. And of course, if you can't, then don't stress. You can always message me if you have questions. If you need anything, please reach out. And if you did enjoy the video, please make sure to just like and subscribe to the channel. Then you'll get notifications when I post other videos. Usually it's Tuesdays at noon, but sometimes there's a surprise. So I will see you guys next Tuesday, and happy crafting. Bye.